Okay, welcome to the Garden of the Black Roses. Now, that was a fail. That last recording that I did with the headset piece was too faint. Well, it was, you could hear it, but it was faint. So I'm just going to go back to recording with just the voice recorder. If it sounds airy because of the air conditioning, I currently don't have anything better. Okay, so today's story, today's chapter is from one of my pieces I've started called Guardian Cycle. Now, this one is probably going to be quite short because it's only just the prologue. I have a draft layout on how I want the story to go. I just haven't gotten around to writing it. So as always, let me know in the comments if you want me to continue it, and I will try when I get a chance. So this is Guardian Cycle, Prologue. Ember cried. Her foxtails were singed from her out-of-control fire. All around her the elements raged. How did it come to this? She stared at the destruction that laid around her. She was the only living element left. Even her partner, Andri, was no longer alive. I need to change the past. The earth can't survive without its guardians to maintain the balance. She curled into a ball. Andri! She cried and cried. Gods of the heaven and sky, hear my plea. Send me back. Let me change the past. Let me make things right again. Slowly she cried herself to sleep as her own fire surrounded her, finally extinguishing her life. Far away, watching the destruction of the earth below, stood the four gods. A gentleman with a red feather in his hair reached out to receive the red pulsing soul that floated towards him. It pulsed in sync with the other orb that floated nearby. Over and over again, a gentleman with deep blue eyes and fish scales running over both arms commented sadly. Nearby, two blue orbs pulsed slowly. History repeats itself over and over. He reached out to the blue orbs and sighed as they danced over his palm. Our guardians feel heartache over and over again. He looked over to the gentleman with the red feather. This time it was Ember who made the plea to try again. He glanced to the other two gentlemen with them. One had white hair that flowed wild down his back like a lion's mane, and two white orbs who floated near his head softly pulsing. The other had a trail of green scales from below his left eye to the back of his right hand, and two green orbs who floated near his left hand swayed as if buffeted by the wind. What are your thoughts, Byakko, Genbu? He glanced uncertainly at the black streaks that ran through one of the red orbs. Ember is now traumatized by this event, just like Aqua was before her. He watched the gentleman with the red feather caress the orb. Shall we try again? Knowing that the trauma will cause the catalyst to end the world. He watched the stray tears that fell from the gentleman before him. Suzaku? Just like Aqua was the catalyst this time around, the gentleman with the red feather, known as Suzaku, replied. Ember will be the catalyst if we try again. Before that it was Kire. The man with the wild white hair, known as Byakko, added. And then Rosalia before that. Each one of us has had a traumatized elemental guardian. The man with the green scale said irritably, All because of the selfish humans. He was known as Genbu, and he reached out to the green orbs in an attempt to calm himself. Perhaps it is the humans we don't bring back if we try. We cannot do that, Suzaku sighed softly. Humans are part of the natural order of the world. Nature would not be so forgiving if we remove a vital element to its survival. He looked at his fellow gods. If we set in motion the delicate law of nature, do you wish to rewrite the entire law of Earth so it can function without humans in its evolutionary cycle? It needs humans to survive, just like we need humans to give us strength through their devotion. The red orb with the black streaks moved in as if to nuzzle his cheek, the black seemingly fading when it touched the deity. Then we are in a bind. Seru folded his arms with a sigh. The choice before us. Do we place Earth as a failed project and lose our beloved guardians? Or do we try again and risk Ember becoming the next destructive catalyst for the end of the world? Each of the gods looked conflicted. They had grown to love their elemental guardians and enjoyed watching their lives unfold within the world they had created. It had almost become like a child's favorite bedtime story. What had gone wrong? All of their meticulous planning crashing every single time. She's your guardian, Byakko purred, stretching. We could try, but we all know. He indicated to Genbu and Seru what it feels like to see your guardian crumble when the memories return and they relive that trauma. It drives them insane. Suzaku looked at the red orbs. He knew these two well. Ember was softer than Andri. She was a peacemaker and a defender. Andri was also peaceful, but easily angered by violence. He was overly protective of Ember, and had proven in many lives over that he would die to protect her. Ember's foxfire wouldn't overpower Andri's phoenix fire. The question became whether Andri would harm Ember to protect the world and her from herself. You know my thoughts, he said softly to the two orbs. Can you do it? Can you break the cycle and bring Earth to realize its full potential? They pulsed excitedly. One grew bigger and engulfed the other before releasing it again and shrinking back to its normal size. Suzaku laughed. You'll wrap her up in a ball of fire if you have to, Andri. You want to try again? Again the orbs pulsed excitedly. Then perhaps should we make this our last attempt? Byakko, Genbu, and Seru watched Suzaku curiously, wondering what he was going to say next. May this be our last attempt. Our last attempt to get our project to be successful. There was silence before the remaining three gods nodded their head in agreement. Our last attempt. As I said, this is a prologue. It's short. I haven't actually gotten the next part started. I mean, a lot of my pieces, like, I get the next part started and it's like in progress, but yeah, this one I only wrote the prologue and then did a draft outline. It was a random idea after I woke up one morning, so yeah. That's it. As always, remember, let your imagination run wild, or grow wild, because you never know what you're going to get out of it. Bye for now.